Radical.
I'll make this really short and sweet. James Harden is bad for the NBA. James Harden is a talented guy, except, for in the playoffs. He's a talented guy. Was one of the greatest scorers in the history of basketball, if you look at the stats. That was, of course, with him, flailing and drawing fouls. He was good at that. They changed the NBA a little bit, so he's not quite as good as he used to be at that. But I'll give him his due. James Harden is a very good basketball player when he wants to be. But I tell you what he's also. He is a crybaby. He is a little crybaby who wants his way. He is spoiled. He is a spoiled, rotten brat that wants his way. And I guess because he's a star, he's James Harden, he always gets his way. Contracts don't matter if you're James Harden. What is a contract? Contracts should be contracts. If you sign a contract, it should be very difficult to get out of it. There's a thing in the NBA called free agency. The system is set up to where a player signs a contract with a team, and they are then married to that team for a certain amount of time. And then they have to render their services to that team for an amount of money per the contract. And then free agency is a time where, contracts expire. And then other teams get a shot at a player maybe they've wanted, but they were locked down. The team put the ring on it and got that player for a certain amount of time. Some players, believe it or not, start off with one team and they end with one team. It's pretty rare, but it does happen. I thought maybe Damian Lillard would be one of those guys, but in the instance of Damian Lillard, he's thriving right now in the Bucks, but he went about things mostly the right way, whereas he stayed with his team for a very long time, and he didn't go about it the perfect way, but no one's going to claim Damian Lillard to doing the exact same thing as James Harden. James Harden is a little older than Damian Lillard. He's 34. And this is his fifth team? Starts out in OKC, then goes to Houston. I'm not sure if he forced his way out of OKC, so I can't say he did there. But he goes to Houston, then forces his way out of Houston to go to, I'm about to lose damn track here. He went to Brooklyn, and then did he go back to Houston, it seems like? Did he team up with Westbrook in Houston? And then after that, he went to the 76ers. See, I need a fucking chart here, man. The guy's been on a lot of teams. And he forces his way out of one team. He acts a fool. He gains weight. He doesn't show up to practice. And what happens is nothing happens. And he is rewarded. The man is rewarded by getting traded to whatever team he wants to go to. Player empowerment. He is the poster child for player empowerment. In the same way, Kawhi Leonard is the poster child for another problem in the NBA, which is load management. A player just, taking the load off, not wanting to play. Not that he's injured. He's just, he's load managing or whatever. Two things terrible about the NBA now. But what's terrible about this situation and why it's so bad for the NBA, except for maybe fans of the LA Clippers who are excited that maybe Harden might put him over the top. I still don't think so. I mean, but technically you do have Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden in a deadly starting lineup. I don't know about their depth, but if all those players stay healthy and James Harden gets motivated, then, they're a possible contender, yeah, but that's a big if. And I see why the Clippers needed to do that, because they felt like, we need some star power in case one or two of our, stars, namely Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, he's pretty durable. If they're one of the stars that go down, I see why they made the move. But that doesn't mean it's not bad for the NBA. Because now all these players are going to feel empowered themselves. And the very minute they drop a hint that they might be unhappy, then everyone's going to be deathly afraid that they pull a James Harden. It's terrible because now you're going to have fucking possible revolving doors, and all these star players are going to be wanting out off of a situation where they don't like the team, they don't like the coaches, they don't like the general manager, and they all want to just huddle and join up with a team that's a contender. When in the old days, a player would go to a team and they would work their ass off and try to be competitive, and then you would maybe draft talent, try to work them up the right way, but it throws the balance of everything off. That's why it's terrible. And I don't see anybody that's going to take the side of James Harden here. Some people might say he was wronged by Daryl Morey. Maybe Daryl Morey lied to him. Big fucking deal. Big fucking deal, man. What he didn't, the situation was James Harden. I don't know all the details of that, but basically, he was mad at Daryl Morey because Daryl Morey promised him something, that if he signed a deal, they would try to trade him to another team. But the other part of it is no other teams other than the Clippers even wanted Harden because they know what they're getting into. They're signing up for a guy that's basically just going to be a short-term rental because when he gets a little bit unhappy, you're going to have to get rid of him. And you're going to give up draft picks. You're going to give up things you might not want to give up just to get a rental of James Harden. So guess what? No teams really wanted James Harden. They would have to be desperate to give up lots of future draft picks for a guy that basically is not going to even want to be there. Depending on the way the wind blows, he's going to blow himself to another team. So that's just what I got to say about that. Some of you might not agree. You might be excited for the LA Clippers. To the fans of the LA Clippers, hey, I'm not going to lie. He might have pulled some magic off, might have pulled off a little bit of magic, and you might see him with the step back threes and all the great passes and fully motivated. But if the Clippers win the championship this year, I feel that shit will be stained. Maybe not everyone might feel that way, but yeah, it's bad, man. James Harden and what he's doing is bad for the NBA.